Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Ramteen Dakota, and my goal is to show you how to write a custom herbal formula in under 5 minutes using our My Herbal Pharmacy site. Today we'll be discussing yin deficiency with heat. This is most commonly seen in menopausal patients, but it's definitely not limited to that. These patients have anxiety that's accompanied by like night sweats, hot flashes, a lot of dry signs like dry skin, hair, mucosal membranes. I also see a lot of insomnia with these patients. It's very common. As always, we'll start with a base formula and begin to modify. Okay, let's write the formula. Let's go ahead and start by clicking Add Formula button here. And from this point, you can decide if you want to try to get some help finding a formula by using the by disease here tab here, or we could go in and type in insomnia. There we go. And it'll give you the correlating patterns here, some common ones. In our case, today we're discussing yin deficiency. Here we go. Here's a somewhat comparable one here. And the formula is Huang Lian Jiao Tang. I'm just going to go ahead and add that, even though that's not the formula we're going to use today, just so we can do a side-by-side comparison, and we can practice with that today. So I just pulled that up just to see what the ingredients are, and I'm going to go ahead and add another formula here, which I'd like to use, and we all know this, very common formula, and I'm using the by formula tab where we could just look up a formula real quick, and we're just going to use Herbal Di Huang Wan. Now, I always like to see multiple formulas next to each other just because we could borrow from each other, and also to look at them side by side and compare them. So I'm going to go ahead and add that formula here. Okay, so now we have Huang Lian Jiao Tang and we have Herbal Di Huang Wan. First, I'll see if there's any overlap. We got Huang Lian, Huang Qin, Jiao, Bai Xiao. Okay, and when it turns red like this, that means our pharmacy does not carry it. So let's take a look. I do not see any overlap. If there's overlap, I usually just delete it so we could have one of them. I do like to keep Bai Xiao, great herb, Jiao, great herb also for that yin deficiency with heat. And over here, you can see they're using Huang Lian and Huang Qin, very strong heat clearing herbs. And in Herbal Di Huang Wan, we're just using Huang Bai. Now, if you want this formula to be very strong, we can borrow from this and we can add Huang Lian and Huang Qin. But in this scenario, I think that's a little bit overkill. Let's just keep Huang Bai, and I'm going to go ahead and delete these two. And I'm going to keep Jiao. Excellent. So now we have basically a Herbal Di Huang Wan with Bai Xiao and Jiao. And I'm going to add some herbs here. I'm going to add Swan Sao Ren for sleep, to promote sleep. Although this is more of like a blood deficiency herb to promote sleep, it's such a wonderful herb to help with insomnia that I add it to almost every single insomnia pattern, regardless, insomnia formula, regardless of pattern. And I like to do it in high doses. So I'm going to make that about 15 here. And then we're going to be talking about this later today, but one of my all-time favorite herbs is Bai He, which clears that heat from the heart, which does create that insomnia, and it nourishes the yin, which it clears the heat by nourishing the yin. So let's add that. I'm going to do about 10 grams there. All right, now this is a raw formula, as you can see. We got all the ingredients. Everything looks good. Bai Xiao, Jiao, Fuling, Huang Bai, Mudam Pi, Shan Yao, Shanju Yu, Shu Di, Xie, Zhermu, Swan Cao Ren, Bai He. At any given time, you could change these dosages if you like, up or down. You could add or remove an herb, and you can fully modify this. So once you're done, I do want to prescribe this here in granular. So really easy to do. I'm going to click the granular button. Boom. How many grams do I want? Well, I want the patient to take about 9 grams a day, which is 3 scoops twice a day. And I want them to take it for 10 days. So that's about 90 grams. You could change this anytime once you've converted on the next page to however many grams you want. And you can be very specific too. You could say, I want 135 grams. The software does the math for you. So here we go, click convert, and now we have a granular formula and all the dosages have been converted. Okay, and a total of 135 grams. I'm going to go over one quick little function today, which is a lot of fun. It's the locking function. So now let's say you want 135 grams of herbs here, and you just changed your mind and you want Swansauren to be 20 grams. Now, this is very difficult math if you're doing this by hand, because if you are keeping the 135 grams here and changing Swansauren to 20, you're going to have to go back and recalculate every single herb as far as the percentage of the formula. Very difficult, and this holds a lot of people back from writing formulas. So what we're going to do here is going to click this lock button. All right, so now the formula is locked at 135 grams here, about 134.5. And look how beautiful this is. I'm going to go ahead and change the dosage of Swansauren and watch what happens to every ingredient in that formula. So we're going to bring that up to about 20. And look, every single dose, other ingredients in the formula change as I change the dosage for Swansauren. So we had it at about 15. And now we're going to go up to 20. As you can see, all the other ingredients are changing accordingly. And this is very difficult to do mathematically. That's why a lot of people are hesitant in writing these formulas, and we've solved that problem for you. So you can use that lock function when you change your mind about a dosage inside a formula, and you could use that lock function to change the dosage while keeping the integrity of the original formula and the percentages, and the software does the math for you. And at any given time, you want to change that dosage of the total formula and be like, oh, you know what, I only want this for 10 days. You can just type it in right here. I want 90 grams, and boom, instantaneously, all the dosages change again in that formula. This saves a lot of time and a lot of guesswork. So once you're done, you're going to click bottled here. You're going to type in what percentage commissions you'd like, which you would receive a check from us at the end of the month, and give your patient instructions here. I want 3 scoops twice a day for 10 days, we said. And if at any time you couldn't do the math in your head, you could always type it in here and you can see what that looks like. So 10 days will be 90 grams, and he did prescribe 90 grams. So you're good there. And down here, patient instructions, this will show up on the label. Pharmacy instructions, that goes to us. Notes on the patient, this is great, this is your EMR. And notes on prescription, this is basically where you write why you chose those herbs, the logic of your formula. And when you're done, you're going to click review. You're going to review it one last time here, ingredients, dosages, and the price. You could send it to the patient where they could check out themselves and have it delivered or for pickup, or you could check out yourself and purchase the herbs for them to come to your clinic. All right, that does it there. And now we have your full formula for yin deficiency pattern with heat for insomnia. Herb of the week by her, Lily Bulb, one of my all-time favorites. I know I say this a lot. It's like a big hug to the heart. This herb really nourishes the yin to clear heat, so really supplements the fluids of the heart. And I use this herb frequently in my yin deficiency patients, but also I'm using this herb for excess patterns because it's so good at cooling that heat by tonifying yin. Recently, also, I was reading on some of the anti-inflammatory aspects of this herb on synapses of the brain that has an effect on mood for the treatment of depression. But we can go into that in a different video. But today's herb is by her.